Very good morning, respected dear participants, faculty members, and honorable guest. I, Dr. Kumar Verma, welcome you all in the day 6 of FDP on innovative in pharmacy education and application of AI, enhancing teaching learning practices in collaboration with Society of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, that is SPER. So wholeheartedly, I welcome today's speaker, Professor Veer Mohammad Ishaq sir. Before proceeding further, I would like to introduce today's speaker. Professor Veer Mohammad Ishaq sir is a senior faculty member at Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Kashmir, with more than 20 years of teaching and research experience. He is also the president of APTI Jammu and Kashmir branch and Directorate of Lifelong Learning and Continuing Education, University of Kashmir. Additionally, Sir has served as coordinator UGC Human Resource Development Center and as director Center for Career Planning and Counseling of the University of Kashmir. And in this capacity, he is organized several faculty development programs, placement drives, and coaching programs for competitive examination. Sir has delivered more than 185 extension lectures outside his department, besides publishing more than 125 popular articles and 52 original research papers in national and international journal of repute. Professor Geer is also a member of several state and national level committees, including advisor, price monitoring resource unit member UG and PG curriculum committee, Pharmacy Council of India, member coordinator, NAC peer team, nominee CCSEA, member editorial board of several high impact national and international journal of repute. His research team has won 6 Best Research Paper Award, and he has chaired numerous sessions at various conferences and seminars. Professor Geer has been consistently active in designing vision, documents, and framing policies for research, higher education, pharmaceutical care services, state drug policy, universal health coverage policy, drug procurement policy for tertiary care hospital, Jammu and Kashmir, research consortium and implementation of NEP 2020. Sir, we welcome you at the platform of ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Sant Kumar Verma ji, for that elaborate introduction. A very good morning to all of you. I
Morning, sir.
express my gratitude and thanks to Professor G.D. Gupta sir, Director, Principal, and Convener of this week-long FDP. I also express my gratitude and thanks to Dr. Siddharth Mehan, IQAC Coordinator, yourself, Dr. Sant Kumar Verma ji, Organizing Secretary, my friend Dr. Saurabh Kose ji, Dr. Navneet ji, and all others present at this occasion. And I must say that ISF Moga has been doing a commendable job by organizing such conferences, seminars, workshops, FDPs on regular basis and updating our students and faculties on various issues of contemporary relevance and importance. And I have observed over the last few months, how first there was a convocation, then followed by a series of FDPs and other online conferences and events, taking up issues of contemporary relevance, of taking up issues and themes of high importance, high significance in the present times. And that way, our students and faculty are benefiting immensely, and they are getting updated on regular basis. So many congratulations and best wishes on my behalf to entire team, organizing team under the leadership of Professor G.D. Gupta sir.
Thank you,
Now,
sir.
I am also thankful for providing me this opportunity today to share my views on an important topic which is relevant to the theme of this FDP. So I'll share my screen right away. So please let me know whether my slides are visible in the slideshow mode.
Yes, yes, sir. These are visible in slideshow mode.
Right. Thank you very much. So my topic will be in tune with the theme of the seminar, theme of this FDP, that is innovations in AI. So my topic will be exactly innovations and renovations in healthcare and pharmaceutical sciences for sustainable development, a giant leap forward towards Viksit Bharat at the rate of 2047. So I'll be talking about innovations in terms of AI and other disruptive technologies, other technologies of the 21st century, new what we call them as new age technologies. But at the same time, I'll also try to talk about the renovations, the consolidations, the age old wisdom, the heritage and traditional knowledge which we have. So, on one way, we need to move forward, and look futuristic and adopt and emulate these technologies in our teaching, research, and innovation. But at the same time, we need to capitulate, we need to consolidate our age old wisdom in terms of our traditional knowledge, in terms of our cultural heritage, in terms of our wealth of knowledge embedded in sciences like Ayurveda, yoga, etc., in terms of the knowledge in our integrative, holistic, and lifestyle medicine. So my speech, my presentation will be a convergence as well as divergence. It will be an amalgam of consolidating the age-old wisdom and looking towards future and promoting innovation. That is what I have thought about today to go about this particular presentation. So main three key terminologies that have been used in the theme of this FDP as well as in my presentation are innovation, renovation, and sustainability. So, first, I would like to define, in order to set the parameters or the boundaries within which this discussion will surround. The innovation is the practical implementation of ideas that result in the development of more effective products, processes, services, technologies, artworks, and business models that innovators make available to markets, governments, and society. So, whatever we bring about, whether they are the new products, new processes, new services, or new technologies, we call them innovations, novel technologies, something creative, something which is new, which was not existing earlier. Then second important term is sustainability. Invariably, each and every event which has been held last year or any day which has been commemorated last year had this word sustainability in the theme of that particular event, because it is gaining immense importance with each passing day. So what does it mean? It means using resources responsibly, leading to balancing human needs with the need to protect the environment, ecology, and ensure a healthy planet for everyone. Essentially, it is about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So, apart from environment, ecology, and resources, it also deals with sustaining the current practices, continuing with the current knowledge and current resources and current practices. For example, current practices of our teaching, research, and consultancy, extension, how long they will go, how long they will sustain. That also becomes important. Then third term which is being used is renovation. Here by renovation, I don't mean to renovate anything or make anything new, but I only mean to revive. I only mean to renew and consolidate and take recourse in age-old wisdom, traditional knowledge related to health and well-being, which is achieved through integrative, holistic, and lifestyle medicine. So I'll be focusing on these three aspects. But first and foremost, sustainability, as you can see, last year alone, a huge number of summits and conferences have been held within India on this particular theme, that is sustainability and sustainable development. So we had a series of events: World Sustainable Development Summit, India Sustainable Investment Leadership Summit, ICC Sustainability Conclave, Sustainable India Summit, PCI Summit on Sustainability, DB Conference, Fifth Global Sustainability Summit, and fourth edition of Sustainability Summit and Awards. A series of events, because that shows the importance, the significance of sustainability. Now, when we talk of sustainability, we need to first look and ponder whether our current teaching and research practices are sustainable or not, and how long they will remain sustainable, how long they will remain in practice, valid, relevant. So, here to answer that question, I would take recourse in one of the interviews given by Nobel laureates of physics to 2024, Geoffrey Hinton, who is also known as the godfather of artificial intelligence. Even though he is a computer scientist, a British Canadian computer scientist, he was awarded Nobel Prize in Physics for his pioneering work in deep learning and in artificial neural networks. And while giving this interview to 60 Degree, the CBS channel, he said that universities and schools are going to go obsolete. We do not need them. We may not need them in another 10 years. So, this is a very bold and big statement, which I may not myself entirely agree to, and which may also arouse thinking among most of you as to what extent this could be correct and this could be perfect, because saying that universities and schools will become obsolete or redundant within 10 years and we may not even need them is quite a big statement. But of course, his actual meaning or implication was that schools and universities could become less relevant than AI tutors, because artificial intelligence is reshaping learning, and AI tutors may become more relevant. They may ensure and promote personalized learning, because AI tutors will have databases of millions of students. So they know where the student is getting stuck, what are his weaknesses or strengths, what opportunities does he need, what challenges he is facing. So it will be personalized learning. More and more availability of AI tutors will be there who will understand the problems of each and every student and will try to address those problems on the basis of huge database of millions of students which they might have seen earlier. So the way we, when we have to go to a doctor, we usually go to a doctor who's more experienced, who has seen maximum number of patients, because we understand that more number of patients he has seen in that particular disease, he'll be having greater knowledge, greater experience of how to deal with it. Same is the case here. AI tutor who has dealt with millions of students, it might be knowing better how to address the individual problems and issues and concerns of the students. So personalized learning will become possible. That's why Jeffrey Hinton says that current practices of teaching and learning may become obsolete and they may be replaced by AI tutors. So he was not the only person to say this. Another Nobel laureate, the Nobel laureate in chemistry, also said this. And Nobel laureate in chemistry for the year 2024, that is last year, Demis Hassabis, has also said the same thing. So what did Demis Hassabis say? Demis Hassabis also said that within 10 years, the doctors may be rendered irrelevant. We may be landing up into the end of the disease. So I'm sorry, my slide is not moving. I'll just stop sharing and then I'll share again. There is some issue with the slide sharing. Now I'll share it again. Right. So, okay. So the slideshow is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you. So, Nobel laureate in chemistry for the year 2024, Demis Hassabis, has also predicted an end to all disease within 10 years. And Demis Hassabis also is a computer scientist from UK. Now, it is quite amazing to see that, Nobel Prize in Physics is also being taken by the computer scientists, and Nobel Prize in Chemistry is also being taken by the computer scientists. That shows the importance of artificial intelligence and IT-based technologies in the current times. And he has done pioneering work in AlphaFold model he has mapped more than 200 million protein structures, which he says could have taken a billion years of PhD time. But he has accomplished this task within just 1 year. So within 1 year, he has unfolded 200 million protein structures, and that's why he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. And Google made him the CEO of Google DeepMind. And he says that artificial intelligence could potentially bring an end to all disease, possibly within the next 10 years. He was also speaking to CBS's 60 Minutes, same channel, same interview, which is available online. You can also watch it on YouTube. So he says that because there may be when all the proteins are unfolded and all the structures we know, the whole biochemistry and physiology of human beings is known, then it will become much easier to treat the disease, and which may in turn end up they're making doctors irrelevant within 10 years. Though these are very big and huge statements which one may not easily accept, But Bill Gates has also said it, that AI will replace doctors and teachers within 10 years. And he said it in an interview with Harvard professor Arthur Brooks, who is well known for his studies on happiness. And he was referring to artificial general intelligence, the power of artificial general intelligence, which will become more and more integrated into our daily lives and will transform everything from healthcare and diagnosis to education. And AI tutors will soon be widely accessible. He was also emphasizing upon the same point that AI tutors will do everything, the job of a teacher, the job of a doctor, and the person will be able to personalize his treatment, personalize his education through these AI tutors. And that brings us, to this question now. To what extent this will be true, will only time will tell. We cannot pre-estimate or prejudge. But yes, the pace at which artificial intelligence and other IT technologies are gaining speed and they are gaining momentum is highly alarming and is highly pervasive, because they are taking each one of us, every sector by its stride. So we need to here understand what is the difference between artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence, because it's an evolutionary process. We are passing through a phase of evolution. In the first stage, we are at present having artificial intelligence, which is also artificial narrow intelligence, which is based on machine learning, deep learning, but whose scope is narrow, and it only provides solutions to the problem. So it relies on the databases which are fed to it. It cannot create anything of its own. It cannot synthesize, doesn't have cognitive abilities. But then the second phase will be that of artificial general intelligence, which is also based on machine intelligence, where and which is at par with human level intelligence. So the parity with human level intelligence will be achieved through artificial general intelligence. Then we can move on to the next stage, the third stage of artificial super intelligence, wherein we will have greater machine consciousness, which will be superior to human intelligence. That is, the it will surpass the human intelligence. It can synthesize, it will have cognitive abilities, it can create new things, it will have creative immensely immense creative and analytical abilities. So as of now, we have only artificial narrow intelligence in existence. General intelligence and super intelligence do not exist as of now. So what are the basic differences between these three? For the sake of the information of the participants of this particular FDP, I would elaborate a little more. I know a lot of sessions have been held over the past 5 days or 7 days during this FDP, and many things have been discussed. So if this needs to be made a little more clear, so definition, as per the definition, general artificial intelligence is a type of artificial intelligence that specializes in creating new original content. This is generative AI. So please be in alert that there is a difference between generative AI and artificial general intelligence. These are two different terms. Generative means which creates new content, new video, new audio, new images, new text, which we are doing through chat GPT at present. So that is generative AI. But artificial general intelligence is an hypothetical AI which doesn't exist as on today, and which matches with the human intelligence and is capable of understanding, learning, applying intelligence to solve any intellectual problem. Artificial superintelligence is also hypothetical and is significantly more intelligent than the best human brains in virtually every field, and includes scientific creativity, general wisdom, and social skills. So far as the scope is concerned, artificial narrow intelligence or generative intelligence is narrower in scope. It is focused specifically on content generation, while as artificial general intelligence has a broad scope, it is versatile and general purpose intelligence akin to human intelligence. And artificial superintelligence is vastly superior and comprehensive across all intellectual domains. It encompasses and surpasses human capabilities. So current status, I have already said, we have ChatGPT, Midjourney, which exist and are widely applied in various industries today. But artificial general intelligence is largely theoretical, and a long-term research goal does not currently exist. Similarly, super intelligence does not exist at present. It is purely hypothetical. It is a future research frontier, and its existence is debated because it could become very risky, very dangerous. Then capabilities are superb. The generative AI creates content, videos, audio, mimics styles, creates new text, summarizes information, creates variations based on learned patterns. While as artificial general intelligence aims to possess capabilities like reasoning, problem solving, learning from limited data, creativity, common sense, etc. And super intelligence would possess unparalleled problem solving abilities, hyper creativity, advanced reasoning, rapid learning capacity. So far as learning is concerned, generative artificial intelligence learns from specific large data sets and generates content based on those learned patterns, while as artificial general intelligence would be able to generalize knowledge from one domain to another and would learn new skills autonomously on its own. And artificial superintelligence would involve self improving, self awareness, self modifying capabilities. The computers will be able to modify themselves, create their own programs. Even it is believed that artificial superintelligence may itself lead to new kind of artificial intelligence. So far as transparency is concerned, generative will be less transparent, artificial general intelligence will be more transparent, and super intelligence will be extremely complex and incomprehensible to human minds. The examples of generative artificial intelligence are large language models like GPT, like DAL-E, Stable Diffusion, music composition, etc. While as there are no real-world examples for artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence, the primary goal of generative artificial intelligence is to create new and original content, while as that of general intelligence is to create machines that can think and act like humans, and that of superintelligence is to achieve intelligence vastly superior to human intelligence, potentially leading to unprecedented technological advancements. So there is a huge risk in superintelligence, huge risk in general intelligence, not much risk in generative intelligence, because generative intelligence can generate, however, misinformation. It can generate deep fake videos which are being circulated these days. That is a possibility in generative AI. Sometimes it becomes a big nuisance to handle those deep fake videos and all. So these are the pros and cons. So when we compare artificial super intelligence with human intelligence, there is no comparison. This super intelligence is way ahead than human intelligence. Human intelligence is limited, fallible. It is limited by biological constraints. It is limited by creativity, and we can only create what we know, what we have seen, not which we have not seen. But artificial superintelligence can even create which it has not seen based on the data, based on the synthesis, and based on the creation abilities which it will have. So there will be huge difference between the two. Now taking these technologies back into the context of the healthcare, back into the context of understanding the human body. So our body is considered to be a pyramid of life which comprises of 25,000 genes, 7,500 enzymes, 8,000 chemicals. These genomics together, we call them genomics, all the genes together, all the proteins put together, we cover them under the field of proteomics. All the other enzymes and metabolites put together, we cover them under the field of metabolomics. All these three together, all the genes, all the DNA, all the RNA, all the proteins, all the metabolites, comprises of the pyramid of life. So if we try to characterize them, and we try to identify each one of them and map them, so already the human genome has been mapped. But if we also try to map the transcriptome comprises of all the RNA. As we all know that DNA gives rise to RNA through transcription. Therefore, all the DNA present in the body is known as the transcriptome. Then this RNA leads to protein synthesis, and it leads to generation of proteins which act as catalysts. They catalyze various metabolic reactions, and through the catalysis of metabolic reactions, several metabolites are generated. So when we map all these metabolites, when we try to identify them, characterize them, it is called as the metabolome. There is also human metabolome project which has been completed, just like human genome project. So when we know all of them, when we identify all of them, we can do a whole lot of things. Many new things become possible. So genomics covers the all the DNA present in the body, transcriptomics covers all the RNA, proteomics includes all the proteins, metabolomics includes all the metabolites. When we completely succeed in mapping them, it leads us to the stream, to the this discipline of pharmacometabolomics, the effect of drugs on these metabolites, and pharmacogenomics, the variations in the drug effects as a result of genetic variations, the effects of drugs on genetic variations, and the vice versa. So together, all of them are known as integromics. All these omics technologies together are known as integromics. Then there is epigenetics, that is the influence, environmental influences and other influence of other exposures on the expression of genes. So there are certain internal factors and certain environmental factors which affect the expression of genes. So environmental exposures to pollutants, chemicals, food, nutrients, drugs, that also affects the expression of genes, and that is covered under the discipline of exposomics. So these exposomics is that is also related to epigenetics and very huge. Genomics has only the genotype, that is the what has been inherited from the parents, but we also should be concerned about the phenotype, how these genes are expressed, or how they manifest themselves in the form of various features. So these environmental exposures and epigenetic factors can affect the expression of DNA in various different ways. So when we know all of these technologies, omics based technologies, we are able to completely develop a full biosignature of the human body. And already databases exist. For example, the database of endogenous metabolites, human metabolome database, has more than 8,500 metabolites. The drug bank, 1,450 drugs. The food additives and phytochemicals, 30,000 these entities are there in the food database. Then drug bank has 1,000 entities or of metabolites. And then toxins and environmental chemicals database is also there, which has 3,100 molecules which have been mapped, characterized. And when on one hand we know the structure of the human body, its full genome, its full proteome and transcriptome and metabolome. On the other hand, we have the external agents like drugs, food particles, pollutants. So now all we need to do is to map them, map their interaction, understand their interrelationship, how they react, and how do they manifest. So coming to the second set of technologies here in today's presentation, I'll be focusing more on omics based technologies and informatics based technologies. Omics based technologies I have already explained. Now the informatics based technologies for developing full biosignature of the human body, we have genoinformatics. Genoinformatics covers all genetic variations and mutation data. These are all computational models based on the various variations which are observed in the human body. So then there is bioinformatics, which is used for target discovery, pathway analysis, biomarker analysis. So then there is immunoinformatics, which gives a complete picture of all the immune reactions, things which which trigger hypersensitivity reactions or allergic reactions or autoimmune reactions. So immune response modeling is done by way of immunoinformatics. Various epitopes are identified. And then chemoinformatics, which helps in molecular design, QSAR, screening of drugs. So based on the chemical information and computational information is clubbed together and various models are prepared. So computer aided drug design, the structure of the drug, and you have the structure of the receptor, how it interacts, how the docking happens, how the ligand binding happens, and what effects could be expected. Similarly, toxicoinformatics, which gives a complete information of toxicity prediction and safety profiling. And lastly, the pharmacoinformatics, which gives the complete information about absorption, distribution, metabolism, elimination, and PK/PD modeling, pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic modeling about drug interactions. Now, when we complete all these studies on one single person, for example, we know his genetic makeup, we know his metabolic, proteomic, and transcriptomic makeup, we know his immune status, chemoinformatics, which drugs will be toxic, which will not be toxic, how the drugs will be metabolized and how they will interact, how they will show the pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic effects. When we know all of these, then what becomes possible? A new possibility arises. When we know all of these, the possibility of having these digital twins. So it will become possible to have digital twins. That is, we can have a twin of a person in the digital form, and that digital twin will have all the information about that person, all the proteins, all the DNA, RNA, all the metabolites, and how toxins will affect, how drugs will affect, how food particles, what metabolites will be produced, what genetic changes will happen, how polymorphisms will occur, what SNPs can be possible, how immune system will behave, and how these drugs will be metabolized. So we will have digital twins. So when we have those digital twins, then we don't need to conduct clinical trials on human beings. Then we will be able to conduct those clinical trials on the digital twins, and that will give rise to a whole new possibility. That is, the clinical trials which used to take for anywhere between 14 to 20 years earlier will now become possible within a period of few months, or sometimes even few weeks. We have seen in COVID-19, when we there was need for new drugs because the time was less, people were dying in lakhs, so we had no time. So we went to repositioning and repurposing of old drugs like remdesivir, and within months we came up with some clinical trials. But now these clinical trials will become possible within a span of few months through digital twins and quantitative systems pharmacology. So in that, we need to know that there will be virtual patients, which will allow us to test our novel drug candidates before moving them into the clinic. And we will be able to conduct digital trials. So those digital trials will be faster, first assessments of the safety and efficacy of new drug candidates, and potentially will reduce the number of patients needed in clinical trials. Then if we club these digital twins with quantitative systems pharmacology, so quantitative systems pharmacology is based on systems biology. That is, when you are modeling, mathematical modeling of the biological systems is done. And when you are quantifying each and every movement, each and every reaction, the interaction of drug with the biological systems, you are quantifying it in the shape of a mathematical model, which that gives you a whole lot information which was not available earlier. And so we will be in a position to create digital twins of the human patients, and we can take all the available data on disease biology, on pathophysiology and pharmacology. So there could be digital twins at the cellular level, at the molecular level, at tissue level, at organ level, at system level, at whole human body level. So we can have a digital twin of the whole human body, or a digital twin of a particular organ system, or particular tissue, or particular cell, or particular molecules also. And that will help us understand the complete quantitative systems pharmacology. So there is a possibility that we will be in a position to identify specific disease, its molecular mechanisms, and all its interactions with the human body. So on that basis, we will be able to generate composite digital twins. Composite digital twins integrate two or more different types of digital twins, and the fidelity of these digital twins will largely depend on incorporating real-time, real-world information. That is, you can track the changes happening in one single human being right from birth till death. You will be able to, in real time and real world situation, you'll be able to see what changes are happening, which proteins are changing, what mutations are happening, and how metabolites are showing up. So these, because of by way of clinical sensors, you will be able to take up this real time, real world data and encapsulate it in the form of a digital twin. So a digital twin instance is the real-time data which describes the physical twins during its entire lifespan. When we, during entire lifespan of a twin, we monitor it on real-time basis. That is known as digital twin instance. And many instances clubbed together make up a digital twin aggregate. So aggregate is the aggregation of some of the digital twin instances and other aggregates. Furthermore, when all of these digital twins are clubbed at one place, when we generate a database of many people, we call it a digital twin bank. which is an organized repository of several instances as well as several aggregates. So here I need to, you should be clear what is a digital twin instance, what is a digital twin aggregate, and what is a digital twin composite. Instance is one realization of and throughout the lifespan of a person. Aggregate is a combination of several instances, and composites may integrate several digital twins. So we will have digital twin banks and digital twin threads. So digital twin threads is a temporal data pipeline from birth to death, which tracks the relation of data elements over a period of time. So this way, we'll be in a position to get a full picture of what is going on inside the person, inside the human body, and we'll be able to generate full data so that it will become very, very easy to check the interaction of various drugs on various receptors, and check the interaction, how the toxicities will evolve, what kind of toxicities can be expected out of those interactions, and what kind of pharmacological actions can be expected. I'm sorry, my PowerPoint is getting hung up. So I will just, is it okay if I go in this mode? Because in slideshow mode, it is getting hung up. So is it
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
okay? Okay. So when we talk of digital twins, I also spoke about this quantitative systems pharmacology. So quantitative systems pharmacology approach is based on systems pharmacology, which in turn is based on PKPD modeling. So pharmacokinetic pharmacodynamic modeling is considered a top-down approach because it is driven by already data which is presently available and observed. On that, we rely on PKPD models. We generate mathematical models. Whereas systems biology based modeling is a bottom up approach. In systems biology, you go from the tissue level, from cellular level, and move forwards. But from in PKPD, you come from the top down. That is, you take the whole human body and go back to the molecular level. So, in this systems biology approach, it starts from the fundamental understanding of biological knowledge, such as molecular or cellular signaling pathways to predict the behavior of biological systems. And in this context, quantitative systems pharmacology modeling can be considered as a balanced platform. It is a combination of both bottom up and top down approach. Quantitative systems pharmacology clubs both the advantages and merits of a top down approach of PKPD modeling and bottom up approach of systems biology approach modeling. So that is the conglomeration which is known as quantitative systems pharmacology, which will allow integration of biological knowledge available earlier and observed data obtained after giving the drug. These two will be clubbed together. So, which you see in this picture, that both PKPD modeling, which is the top down approach, and systems biology, which is the bottom up approach, are clubbed together in quantitative systems pharmacology, so that you exactly know what was the picture earlier before giving the drug, what happened after giving the drug, how the pharmacological response is changed, what biological change, physiological and biochemical changes happened, what interactions were possible, and that will give you a complete picture of the pharmacology of that particular drug. So now we have already, so far we have understood the importance of omics based technology, the importance of informatics based technology, and the importance of integrating them together for the sake of digital twins, for the sake of drug discovery and development through digital twins, and by the help of quantitative systems pharmacology, how this whole process could be hastened, made more facilitated, made more effective. Now, already our Honorable Prime Minister has given this vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Already we have come out of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav after completing 75 years of independence. Now we are in the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, and all of us are working and striving together to make our country a Viksit Bharat, a developed country by the year 2047, which in turn calls for Amrit Kal Vimarsh, the discussion and deliberation during this Amrit Kal, how to make our country a Viksit Bharat. So for that, in terms of pharmaceutical sciences, there is need for skill and competency-based education. There is need for cutting-edge, contextual, translational research. There is need for innovation incubation, startup and entrepreneurship development in pharmaceutical and medical sciences. Only when these three things are followed and practiced, research and innovation through innovative techniques, skill oriented education using new teaching pedagogies, then innovations by way of startups, we can have healthy people who in turn will strive and work for Viksit Bharat. So, in order to have healthy people, all these things are important. And Not only healthy people, those healthy people, those young people, we have to do continuous upskilling, skilling, and reskilling. We have to subject them to a continuous phase of learning, unlearning, and relearning. What the first we have to make them learn, then unlearn whatever is not obsolete, whatever is obsolete and redundant. They have to unlearn it, and then relearn new things which are coming up. For example, today we are discussing in this FDP artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and cloud computing, robotics, and many new innovative technologies. So they have to relearn them. Similarly, they have to skill them, not only learn, but they have to skill themselves. They should be able to handle it themselves. They should be having the prior knowledge of first hand knowledge of what how it works and what it is all about. So continuous this evolution, continual evolution in terms of reskilling is very important. Skilling, reskilling, and upskilling has to occur on a continuous basis with the incorporation of digital inclusion. So digital incorporation, digital inclusion has to be there at every stage. And only when we follow this kind of pedagogy, only when we follow this kind of technique in our teaching and research, we will be able to achieve our motto of Viksit Bharat, because it has to happen on a continuous basis. We cannot rely on age old technologies which have become obsolete and redundant. We have to adopt and emulate new technologies for making new advancements, new inventions, new innovations. And then only we will be able to achieve sustainable development or sustainability. As I mentioned in the beginning of my talk, that my focus is on innovation, renovation, and sustainability. Sustainability can be achieved through United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. 17 goals are there, 100 targets are there, which have been set by the United Nations in the year 2015. Earlier, they had set Millennium Development Goals in the year 2000. They were valid only till 2015, but in 2015, another UN summit was held, Sustainability Summit, wherein these 17 goals have been enumerated. And Goal 3 deals with good health and well being, while as Goal 9 deals with industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So, what we are discussing today are covered under SDG 3, and SDG 9 covers innovation, industry, and infrastructure. So we need to work continuously on these 17 goals, and we need to achieve them through sustainable development model. There are actually several development models. There is a market based development model, there is a capitalist based development model, socialist based development model, or even welfare based development model. But those will not be effective in our case. What will be effective will be sustainable development model, which embodies the understanding of the links between economic advances, upholding human rights, and environmental impact. And it approaches development as an issue to be tackled globally rather than locally. So, this sustainable development model simultaneously takes care of our economy, environment, ecology, as well as society. Social parameters, social manifestations are there, ecological considerations are there, economic aspects are there. When all three of them are taken into consideration, we'll be in a position to make best possible use of our resources without depleting the chances of the future generations to use those resources. We'll be in a position to make our current practices sustainable, current practices of teaching, research, extension, consultancy, and innovation incubation. So that development model will be the most effective. And what are the innovations which are giving rise to emerging frontiers in pharmaceutical sciences? There are several new emerging areas where our students need to pursue education, they need to pursue research, they need to pursue entrepreneurship in these areas, that is pharmacogenomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, microbiomics, and pharmacometabolomics. Similarly, these informatics based technologies like genoinformatics, bioinformatics, immunoinformatics, chemoinformatics, toxicoinformatics, and pharmacoinformatics. Then the future is going to be about genetic engineering. That why he said that, why Demis Hassabis said that doctors will not be needed in another 10 years, because we'll be able to make changes in the genes themselves. So through genetic engineering, through gene therapy, and for example, the example has been set by CRISPR technology and CAR T cell therapy, which so stem cell therapy. These are the technologies of convergence of 21st century, which focus on the small, that is, which focus on the stem cell, on the genes, and then do engineering and manipulation at that level so that the person doesn't suffer from any disease. Then other emerging areas are pharmacoeconomics, health outcomes research, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, nanomedicine and nanodiagnostics, big data analytics, clinical data management, 3D printing and robotics, translational and regenerative medicine, clinical research organizations, knowledge process outsourcing, biosimilars and biopharmaceuticals, pharmacovigilance, material vigilance, and other vigilance, personalized and precision medicine, holistic integrative and lifestyle medicine. So we have to shift from single use bioprocessing to continuous bioprocessing. That is, in machines which do not produce products in a batch wise manner, but they produce them on a continuous manner. You don't have to do batch wise cleaning, sterilization, validation, but on a continuous basis you will be able to manufacture drugs or other products using continuous bioprocessing. And biosimilars and biogenerics are the thing which are the most talked about these days. And bioprinting, 3D manufacturing, gene and cell therapies, and the artificial intelligence, of course, are taking everything by its stride. Then there will be future wearable gadgets which will make this healthcare a lot easier, because we'll be wearing so many gadgets which will make it possible to do the diagnosis at our home at our own ease, and the doctor will be the last person to be referred to. So lastly, I would like to focus on the renovation part, and I'm sorry if I have exceeded my time. Is there still time for me?
No, sir, you can continue.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I'll just take few more minutes to throw some light on the renovation part. That is consolidation and revival, and taking retreat and recourse in our age-old wisdom, traditional knowledge, and moving from passive to proactive healthcare. So now the whole philosophy of healthcare has to change from uh, disease-centered healthcare to health-centered healthcare. The philosophy of healthcare has to change. Not only the philosophy of healthcare, but even the products of healthcare has to change from patients to people. We don't have to focus only on patients, we have to focus on healthy people also. So the product philosophy, the healthcare products have to change from patient centered to people centered. Healthcare philosophy has to change from disease centered philosophy to health centered philosophy. These healthcare entities have to change. Earlier the entity was only the medicine, but now even the sports are an entity, education is an entity. The age old therapies like yoga and ayurveda are the entities, nutrition is an entity. So this change in thinking, ideology, and the concepts of healthcare has to occur at a very large level. This transformation has to happen in a paradigm manner, that so that we are able to offer proactive healthcare. We have to move from passive healthcare to proactive. As of now, we go to a doctor only when we have certain symptoms, and then we tell the doctor to fix our problem. So the onus of good health lies on our doctor, not on us. This onus of good health, the responsibility of our well-being, should come back to us. It should switch back to us, and we should be in a position to maintain good health through prevention, through promotion of healthcare, through personalized medicine, through precision and proactive healthcare, through co-construction and sharing, through self-rule and self-discipline. So these are the six essential elements of proactive healthcare. Each developed country worldwide is focusing these days on these elements, and they are moving to proactive healthcare from passive healthcare, wherein there is more and more focus on prevention strategies, more focus on promotion of good health, more focus on rehabilitation. See, this is the pyramid of good health. So far we have been focusing only on the curative part of the treatment. So but that has to change. That is, we need to focus not only on the treatment part, but also on disease prevention, health promotion, primary care, diagnosis, treatment, rehabilitation, and even continuing care, that is lifelong care. So there has to be the concept of continuing care, lifelong care, apart from rehabilitation, diagnosis, prevention, and promotion of good health. When we do this, we will be able to reduce the costs of our healthcare drastically. We'll be able to reduce the disease burden drastically, because we will be able to know the susceptibility towards disease at a much early stage. Then, because we'll be doing screening right from the birth of a person, and that will make diagnosis quite easy and early, and we will be in a position to prognose the diseases better, how the disease will progress, how it will show up, how it can be controlled. We'll be in a position to decide much early. So we'll be able to generate baseline risk of all the people. We'll be able to do preclinical progression, monitor preclinical progression of the disease, and only at a later stage there may be need for a treatment. At a very advanced stage, the clinical disease will manifest, and we may be able to give some treatment. but majority of the population will recover even before any treatment is given. So that is the idea, that is the holistic and integrative healthcare which I am talking about. Because modern medicine has perils, it has its own hazards or own demerits. There are adverse drug reactions, medication errors, polypharmacy, drug interactions, non-compliance, self-medication, substandard drugs, irrational use of medicines. These are the perils of modern medicine. And there are also perils of modern lifestyle. Modern lifestyle, which is sedentary, has given rise to cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, osteoarthritis, respiratory diseases. So this again is becoming a big nuisance. So this can only be overcome and tackled by way of lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle medicine has six pillars. Lifestyle medicine means healthy eating, physical exercise, good restorative sleep, positive social connections, minimizing risky substances like smoking and alcohol, and then stress management. So we have to work on all of these things. We don't have to think only about medicine and doctor all the time. If we do exercise, if we take proper nutrition, we manage our stress, we establish good social connections and minimize the use of risky substances like tobacco and alcohol, will be in a position to get integrated healthcare expert. Then we'll be in a position to get holistic healthcare. And then there is need for evolutionary medicine. So some secret lies in evolutionary medicine. If we look into our surroundings, there are many animal species who never suffer from certain diseases. For example, Burmese python never suffers from a congestive heart disease or hypertension. Giraffe never suffers from hypertension. Brown bear never suffers from diabetes mellitus. Elephants never suffer from cancer. See, elephants are such big, huge creatures. Generally, we believe that more obese a person, more prone he is to suffer from cancer. But elephants, in spite of being such heavy creatures, big creatures, they never suffer from cancer. Why so? Because they have some 20 copies of P53 gene and 40 alleles of the same gene, while as humans have only two copies of P53 and four alleles. So that makes these elephants they're only 5% liable to get cancer, while as the susceptibility among humans is 25%. So we need to understand these secrets in nature, understand these secrets, how nature has given these animals protection from various diseases. As you can see in this picture, several organisms are, they can never get ischemic heart disease, some never get renal disease, some never get fatty liver disease, some never get osteoporosis like this brown bear. So we need to understand those secrets, and that is how last in 2022 the Nobel Prize was awarded to Pablo Savante Pabo, who worked on these Neanderthals, our ancestors. He worked on he mapped the genome of Neanderthals, who are our human ancestors. And there he found that there are certain risk factors in the genome itself for COVID-19, and there are also protective factors in the genome. So the risk factors are also there in the genome, and protective factors for COVID-19 were also there in the genome found in the Neanderthals. Similarly, we need to examine and explore other genomes, and we need to see where are the risk factors for all other diseases, where are the protective factors for all other diseases. If we try to map it, understand it fully, explore this evolutionary medicine, I'm sure we'll be in a position to overcome a whole lot of diseases, and there may be no need for medicines in future. So evolutionary medicine is the key, holistic, integrative, and lifestyle medicine is the key. That is where we need to go backwards, while as artificial intelligence we need to go forwards. These data mining, this big data analytics, and then there are the secrets in our microbiome, the gut microbiota. We need to understand the role of probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. Probiotics are those which give rise to these good bacteria. Prebiotics, and they give them the nutrition. Postbiotics, the products of these good bacteria in our gut. So microbiomic studies are very immensely important, and the importance of microbiota is being released. That's why these days we are resorting to techniques like the transplantation of gut microbiota or transplantation of vaginal microbiota for treatment of several diseases. And then there is drug repurposing and repositioning, which can be achieved through profile based drug repositioning, network based approach, or data based approach. Profile-based approach uses the bioactive profile of a drug in tandem with other drug or disease profiles that can be categorized, while as network-based approach combines information regarding drugs and druggable targets obtained from various databases. And database approach uses electronic health record data on the clinical history of patients, which includes the results of laboratory tests, drug prescriptions, and symptom description. So with these, many new, old drugs have been subjected to new uses. But by virtue of drug repurposing and repositioning, sildenafil straight, which was used for hypertension and angina, is now used for erectile dysfunction. Thalidomide, which was this thalidomide disaster, responsible for that disaster, is now used for multiple myeloma and leprosy. Similarly, minoxidil, metformin, remdesivir, aspirin, bupropion, duloxetine, auranofin, they are being repurposed for a whole lot of new indications. And CAR T cell therapy is also making wonders, wherein we collect the blood of a person, we reprogram its T cells, and we activate them, stimulate them, multiply them. Then we infuse or inject the same T cells into the sick person. These T cells attack the cancer cells, and that CAR T cell therapy becomes very, very effective. The T cells are isolated, and then they are stimulated and activated and re-engineered and inserted back so that they can overcome the cancerous cells. Similarly, 3D printing has emerged as very successful. Organs are being printed, tissues are being printed, and they are being used for regenerative medicine. So, conclusion of my talk today is that we need to adopt, emulate, and integrate new age technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, augmented reality, virtual reality, or extended reality, big data analytics, robotics, cloud computing, blockchain technology. We need to incorporate and emulate them and integrate them into the pharmaceutical education, research, and innovation. Second conclusion is that we need to impart skill and competency based education, undertake cutting edge, contextual, translational research, innovation incubation, startup and entrepreneurship development in pharmaceutical sciences. Third conclusion is that we need to integrate omics and informatics based technologies with systems biology and quantitative systems pharmacology and digital twins for quick and precise new drug design, discovery, and development. And lastly, but not the least, we need to retreat, renovate, and take recourse in age old wisdom and traditional knowledge of integrative, holistic, and lifestyle medicine. Thank you very much for your patient audience. Thanks for inviting me. I'll be happy to take any questions. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was a very elaborative lecture. Sir, you have nicely joined all the research with the Viksit Bharat. If you are doing research and published papers and some other things, it will not be beneficial directly to the society. Directly to the science, it can benefit, but not directly to the society. But you try to correlate all the things with the development of our country, with the vision of our Prime Minister.
Thank
You
you.
have correlate all the things. You have nicely correlated the omics, AIs, and other things that we can incorporate in the development of science and ultimately in the development of our country and towards moving the Viksit Bharat. Sir, you have definitely explained the sustainability in your previous slides and quoted some quotes like Jeffrey Hilton and Nobel laureates of chemistry, Bill Gates, and you have nicely explained the AIs, different type of AIs and differences between them, and then pyramid of life and developing full biosignature of the human body by informatics knowledge, digital twinning and QSP, PKPD versus system biology versus QSP approach. और उसके बाद जो मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग थी दैट वाज द अमृत काल बिमर्स फॉर विकसित भारत @2047, the need for the learning and relearning process, importance of that also discussed you have nicely. Then UN sustainability goal, that was 17 goals, and sustainable development model, innovation giving rise to the emerging frontiers in pharmaceutical sciences. At last, you have emphasized that we have to adopt new technologies, new innovations in pharmaceutical sciences, and impart skill and competency based education, and also incorporate omics based drug development processes in our research and development. Sir, this was a nice lecture and elaborative lecture in different aspects. You have nicely correlate all the AI things with the development of our country as well as science and research in pharmaceutical sciences. So, sir, ISF College is thankful to you for providing a vast knowledge to our audience in the terms of AI. Sir, thank you from the core of
Thank you.
our heart at the platform of ISF College of Pharmacy. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the to the organizers and Professor G.D. Gupta sir, as well as organizing chairman and organizing secretary of this FDP, and my friend Dr. Saurabh Koseji for inviting me, giving me this opportunity to interact on this important topic today. Many thanks to you.
Excellent talk. Thank you, sir, for
Thank you,
joining,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Can I leave now?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.